Good morning, Rabbi. We were asked by one of our friends regarding an issue of modesty with the women. The question is, are they required to cover their knees? The knees are the part of the leg which are below the shin. The question is that considered to be also part of the body of the woman that needs to be covered, or can it be exposed? So we do find actually in the Gemara, Masechet Brachot, Chaf Daled, it says over there that shok beisha erva. What does that mean? That the shok is a part of the leg. And it's telling you that that's also considered to be a naked part of the woman that needs to be covered. So the question is, when we say shok, which part of the leg are we talking about? According to the majority of the poskim, including Tosfot and Masechet Menachot, and also Rav David Kimchi and his commentary on Sefer Shoftim, and also Rabbi Akiva Eger, and many other poskim as well, and also Moreno Rabbeinu Maran Alav Shalom, Rav Vadia, he also writes the same thing in his great work Yebi Omer, in the 6th volume. He writes over there as well that the knees of the woman need to be covered. So according to this opinion, it must be covered with something also which is not clear. If it's some kind of clear stockings which you can see through, so it doesn't really help you. Why? Because Gemara says, right, that if you have erva, if you have nakedness which is seen through some kind of a glass or some kind of a clear prism, so there also there's a problem there. Why? Because since you can see right through it, even though it's covered, it doesn't really help you, right? Because you can see it, and therefore it's still considered to be nakedness. So therefore, it has to be, according to this explanation that we just mentioned, it has to be that it's covered. The knees have to be covered with something which is colored and not clear. If it's covered with something which is clear, it doesn't really help you at all. So therefore, according to this opinion, we must be stringent regarding this question. There's also a minority opinion on the other side, which is a Pri Megadim. He says in the Siman Ayin Hey that really the truth is that when it says the Gemara Shok Beisha Erva, the part of that leg which is called the Shok, he says it's not the knees, they're talking about the thighs. So according to the Pri Megadim, the knees would be able to be exposed and do not need to be covered at all. But the truth is, Rabbi, that we have a rule in Halakha. The rule is that we go according to the majority of the poskim. The majority is always the Halakha, especially here in this case where we have two Rishonim, the earlier authorities, Tosfot and Rav David Kimchi, who are considered to be more authoritative, which are on the side of the Chumrah, which are on the side of the stringency. So therefore we must go according to them, and therefore says Moreno Rabbeinu Maran Alav Shalom Rav Vadia in the aforementioned Tshuva and Yebi Omer, he writes over there that we must be stringent regarding this. So therefore the halacha is, Rabbatai, that a person should tell his wife and his daughter or whatever, all the women that he knows, should tell them that the knees need to be covered. The truth is that we also find in some of the poskim that there was a custom in places in Europe that they were mikol, they were lenient, like the opinion of the Pri Megadim. But the truth is that now that we're not in Europe anymore so much, we're in America, we're in Israel, whatever it is, so we find the truth is that all the really religious Haredi communities, the custom over there now in all of them, in all the communities, is to be stringent and to cover the knees. So therefore, there's no possibility to be lenient regarding this. Nowadays, we cannot really rely on some custom which was in Europe 100 years ago, 200 years ago. It doesn't really help us today. So therefore, Rabbi Tyler, the halacha is that a woman has to cover the knees, and the truth is that we do find some communities that still are lenient regarding this, but we should tell them to not to be lenient, because since now the religious communities are all machmir, and also we find that most of the authorities, the vast majority of the authorities, are stringent regarding this. So therefore, the rules of halacha say that we go according to the majority. And since we have here a large majority and also the earlier authorities that go with them as well, so we cannot, against them, we only have one opinion which is lenient, which is the Pri Megadim, and we cannot go according to the minority opinion, Dat Yachid we call that, right? One guy who's against the whole world. We cannot really be lenient like that. So therefore, the Rabbotai, the halacha is that the woman should cover the knees with something which is not clear. It doesn't necessarily have to be by the way that she covers it with stockings. Also, she could cover it with a skirt or a dress. That's also considered to be covering. Whatever you cover it with, the whole point is, right, it should be something which is not clear. Baruch Adonai Leolam, Amen ve'Amen. Chazak u'Baruch.